Welcome to episode 50 of Sport SA Daily Diary. Today we change to international trail running sensation, Ryan Sands. How's it, Ryan? How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, thanks. Looking forward to heading out for a short run tomorrow.
Not doing another 100-miler around your house?
No, hopefully not. But I guess never say never. But for now, definitely not.
Jeepers, Ryan, that was some feat, huh?
Yeah, I guess it was actually a lot harder than what I expected. I think more like physically it wasn't too bad, but I think like mentally was really tough. It was a lot slower going than what I expected. Like I initially thought like, geez, I'd be able to get it done in like 20 hours, maybe 18 or so. Obviously it took like 26 hours. So that was really tough. It's just super slow going. I could never just like open up and get into any kind of rhythm. And then also just to focus, like kind of constantly doing like the same lap over and over again, kind of running past your bedroom every 100 plus meters and the dining room table. It's just, it was really difficult. Amazing to have my like family there and my wife Vanessa and son Max. But at the same time, it's just, it was hard to get into any sort of rhythm. But glad I got it done. But it was a little bit tougher than I expected.
Ryan, has the sort of ultra distance running, trail running, always been part of your life? I mean, at school, I believe you played cricket and rugby and a couple of other things. Was this always something that grabbed your attention?
No, as you mentioned, at school I played a lot of rugby, so I did a little bit of running here and there to keep fit, but it was never something kind of I aspired to, and it was only like last year at university that I entered the Comrades Marathon with a bunch of mates and did it on pretty minimal to no training, but really enjoyed it, and from there onwards. Did like one or two other kind of half marathons and got into trail running, living on the back slopes of Table Mountain. And yeah, before I knew it, I was running ultra races. So it has been was a really kind of quick progression. And looking back at the last 13 years, it's been pretty like epic and crazy to look back and seeing like where I've been able to travel to and kind of people I've been able to meet. But definitely I wouldn't say it was kind of the path I thought I would take kind of when I was at school. I see a lot of mates that I was at varsity with or school with, and they're like, geez, dude, like what happened? It's not something we ever expected you to do.
No, I mean, you've seriously surpassed expectations, I would imagine, of anybody. And you've done pretty much everything. There's not really too much left for you to do.
Yeah, I guess like there are one or two things. Like there's an Ultra Trail Mont Blanc race in Europe. I think that's kind of probably top of my agenda when it comes to racing. And then the one race I feel like I still want to get right. And then I guess as my career has progressed, I've started doing some more kind of free running projects and some more fastest known time projects. I think what intrigued me about the sport initially was that sense of adventure. And I'm definitely kind of doing a lot of that now going forward. And I think it's important to keep mixing it up and keep excited and passionate. And I think like if you're doing that, then you're doing something right. And hopefully kind of continue in that direction.
Yeah. And Ryan, you were the first person in the world to run or to win all 4 desert races. Very different I would imagine. Sort of running in the Sahara compared to running in the Antarctica must have been worlds apart. Tell us a bit about those four races.
Yeah, definitely like very different. Like kind of running in the Sahara Desert, kind of running in temperatures like high 40s and low 50s. So I think the hottest temperature recorded was like 52 degrees. And that was extremely hot. It almost feels like you're suffocating, like you can't just get enough air. It's so hot. Running in really, really soft sand. And then also at the same time, you follow these pink marker flags, but it's quite like, because it's literally like as far as you can see, all you can see is just like white sand. It's almost quite like intimidating in some ways. It's just like mentally freaks you out a bit. And then, the 4 deserts or kind of series are fully self-supported races, so you've got to carry everything you need for the 7 days. So you're running with a backpack of about 10 kgs, which currently I'm doing more kind of 100k and 100-mile races, which generally you have a number of aid stations along the way, so you don't carry as much stuff. But then, going back to the 4 Desert Series, Antarctica was pretty unique and different, obviously being really cold, kind of running in like -20, -30 degrees, and also running off a boat. So the format was slightly different. Literally, they used to wait for weather periods. So they would give you an hour notice and say, like, cool, stage 3 is starting. And literally, you got an hour to get ready, jump off the boat, get to shore, and then start the stage. And also the stage was quite varied depending on the weather. So like that, you never knew if the stage was going to be like 20 Ks or like 100 Ks. It just depended like on the weather, and you actually ran laps, and the laps varied. The one day we ran like 1.5 kilometer laps, and then like other days the laps were like 25 Ks. So it a lot. Like it was like a lot, like things just happening, and a lot of like things you couldn't control. But I guess that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, in places like the Gobi or the Sahara, there's obviously not too many people that are doing the race at any one time. So you must go for hours not seeing anybody and just running endless sand and dunes. And I mean, it must really boggle the mind.
Yeah, I think that's something I really enjoy about it, like just kind of that solitude and being able to get into your own headspace. But like a race like Sahara and Gobi and those races, you generally would have like a checkpoint every 8 to 10 kilometers. So you would see some people every 8 to 10 kilometers. But in between that, like if you're out running on your own, then yeah, you might not see anyone. But yeah, like kind of like the shorter stages of like 40 kilometers, it's quite nice to be out there on your own. But then suddenly you're running like a longer stage of 100 kilometers, those kind of stretches on your own definitely do kind of, as you say, kind of play with your mind a little bit.
And then, Ryan, your first 100-miler was the one in Leadville in the US, and you ran the third fastest time ever, and the fastest by a non-American. I mean, that's quite good going for your first 100-miler.
Yeah, I was pretty like stoked with that. Also, it was like for me like that year I made the transition from doing more the kind of multi-stage racing to more the kind of one day, and that was kind of where the sport was going. I think the sport's like grown a lot over the past couple of years, and like if you look at the kind of the Ultra Trail World Tour and some of the bigger races, they're all kind of have kind of they are the kind of 100k and 100-mile races. So. And Leadville being one of the most iconic 100-milers, I was really stoked with that. It was, as I say, one of the toughest races I've done. I remember like the last 60 Ks, my legs were just absolutely blown. Felt like I had like bits of glass in my quads. It was just so sore. But yeah, super stoked with how it turned out.
And Ryan, has it always been trail running for you? You've never thought of doing any road running or sort of Comrades Marathon, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I guess like living in South Africa, obviously Comrades and saying like Two Oceans. I grew up watching my dad run Two Oceans, and actually have run one Two Oceans in his honor. I was actually supposed to do another one this year, but obviously, unfortunately, it was cancelled. Yeah, my dad's done 7 Two Oceans, so like I definitely want to do 7 Two Oceans, as I mentioned in his honor. Comrades, I don't know, like I really enjoy the vibe behind Two Oceans, and it's not a serious race for me. It's more just kind of going out there and celebrating it and enjoying kind of the crowds and the support and the unique experience. But yeah, I think kind of I've got a lot of respect for a race like Comrades, and like I feel if I do it at the moment currently, I'd need to do a lot of specific and focused training for it, and obviously that would take away from my kind of trail racing. So for now, no plans to do Comrades, but I guess never say never. Maybe down the line. Obviously, it's a kind of part of South African heritage and culture, and I guess it would be cool to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan, a couple of years ago, you ran 1,435 kilometers in 25 days in the Himalayas, climbing 60,000 or 63,000 meters, which is the equivalent of going up Mount Everest 7.5 times. Simple question, why?
Yeah, I guess like kind of I did it with a buddy, Reino Crystal, and yeah, we had done some pretty cool things together in a couple of crazy projects. And for me, as I mentioned earlier, like kind of adventure is something that's always intrigued me. And for me, I saw kind of the Great Himalaya Trail as the kind of the ultimate adventure, like the pinnacle adventure. And yeah, after winning Western States in 2017, I thought, flip, like I want to go and do something cool and yeah, give it a bash. So kind of Raina and I kind of put the plan in place and went there. But yeah, it was pretty wild and hectic, and definitely I don't think I'd rush back there again and do it again. But again, I'm really glad I've done it, and it was definitely one of the toughest things I'd done. Just we faced so many challenges every day. It was just like another challenge. Raina got frostbite, had some injuries. We got like chased towards the end by some locals. It was just completely wild and pretty crazy. And just the scale of those mountains is just like mind blowing. I remember just flying in there and you're just seeing these mountains just kind of pillaring out like above the airplane, and you're just kind of flying and you're looking to your left and you're just seeing these massive mountains. So yeah, it was pretty crazy, and like I said, really glad I did it.
I think you need to get together with Ron Rutland, and you guys need to come up with another challenge that we'll do between the two of you.
He's been doing some crazy things.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan, tell us, where did Hedgy come from, the nickname?
Nickname, at school I used to always have long hair, and then I cut it short and it just went super spiky, and I think it was about grade 9, standard 7, and like someone said, oh, you look like a hedgehog, and kind of being that age you got cross with them, and then obviously then naturally that the name just stuck. So it kind of started off at like hedgehog, and then it became like Hedgy, Hedge, and I guess a lot of people call me by that now.
It's just stuck. Ryan, you've pretty much run on, or you have run on every continent. You've run on countries, all over the world. Has there been a standout run for you that's sort of your most beautiful, most amazing run that you've done to date?
Yeah, I guess they're quite a few. Like if I had to break it down into like countries, I definitely think like Chile, around the Atacama Desert there, and also the Patagonia ultramarathon out there. And yeah, that's like just incredibly beautiful, and like the vastness, like kind of being in deserts, in like a desert with these like massive kind of snow-capped mountains, and then also like just Patagonia itself, also like, which is part of Chile, the Torres del Paine National Park is just insane, just so beautiful. So I definitely say those are that kind of areas is one of the most beautiful areas I've been to. I think something like Ultra Trail Mont Blanc, or the Mont Blanc area, is also incredibly beautiful. As I mentioned, I still need to have a good race there, but that's a really spectacular place. And I guess I was asked the other day, like, if you could get teleported to any place during lockdown, where would you go? And kind of the first thing that came to mind was actually Table Mountain, just to be on top there. I think there's something really special about Table Mountain and Cape Town, just being able to see, kind of be on top of a mountain, be able to see the oceans as well, which is really unique and special. Yeah.
And away from running, you do mountain biking as well. You a bit of paddling and a bit of surfing. Any sort of plans to combine the lot and do some adventure racing, or to ride the Alps of Cape Epic, or any of those sorts of things?
Yeah, Yeah, as I say, I haven't done too much mountain biking recently, but I do enjoy mixing up from time to time. I think last year I did a swim run race and actually won the previous year. So it is nice, like especially in like off season or kind of I've got some downtime just to like stay active and moving, but take a bit of a break. Um, yeah, no plans to do any adventure races. But yeah, something like the Cape Epic definitely does appeal to me. And to be completely honest, currently I think kind of I'd rather give that a bash before something like the Comrades, just because I enjoy being kind of off road and off road. But yeah, currently no major plans. But yeah, I wouldn't mind giving some of like those kind of iconic South African events a go.
And just in closing, Ryan, you obviously got Max as your little son. Any thoughts about sort of sharing the running world with him, and maybe one day doing some of these races together? Has he shown any interest in running? He's still very young.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really cool that like he's been able to do quite a bit of traveling with me. Obviously, probably too young to remember a lot of stuff, but I think it's cool that just to have him along for the journey. Yeah, I guess he currently really enjoys kind of music, and I think he's my wife Vanessa did a lot of acting, so I think he's quite into all of that. So I don't think I'd like kind of push him into one, like say you got to like kind of come running with me, but if he shows interest, it'd definitely be cool to do some stuff with him, I guess, just to also just share whatever he's passionate about. Actually secretly hoping he gets into surfing. I wouldn't mind kind of spending some more time in the water again.
Yeah, certainly, or when we're allowed to, from
Exactly.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ryan, it's been brilliant chatting to you. Thanks for your time today on Sport SA Daily Diary. Enjoy your run tomorrow, and good luck with Mont Blanc and what it might hold.
Thanks so much. Yeah, great chatting.
Cool. Thanks, mate.
Yes.
Look out for tomorrow's episode of Sport SA Daily Diary, where we'll be chatting to South African triathlete Kyle Buckingham.